LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook
all at the same
all
time.
at the same time, and we are live. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
Hey, Matt, how are you been?
I've been good.
Yeah?
A lot going on, a lot of prep for a week-long open house.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work going on the last week. I mean, Matt and the whole team have really been getting our new NavalX spaces, ready for this week at our grand opening, and we're really excited to be here live with hopefully we have some folks joining with us that we'll be able to talk to and maybe even answer some questions.
Yeah, definitely. That's the goal, and that's kind of the plan, and not my plan. Our team's plan for the whole week is we're going to have a variety of events, virtual events, which you guys can see on the link below there. If you go there, please go and register. We got virtual events all week long, some physical ones too. If you are in the DC, Virginia area, and we are following COVID guidelines, we are 6 feet away, so we're good to go that way. But definitely looking forward to talking to all of you this week right now. Start bringing those questions in. Looks like um, I've got my wife supporting me. Fantastic. Nice to
Uh,
see you, Lindy. Always good to have support at home.
it's good to make sure it's working, right?
Definitely. That's how we're testing it out. She didn't say it's failing. She said, "Good looking studio," so we're good to go.
It
Um,
is. Well, we're in the new studio here, and maybe you can just see some of the soundproofing foam that's in here. And we've got the NavalX poster behind us. And this really is a studio to do a whole lot. Like you've started doing some podcasts recently, which has
yep.
been great. So we're coming in live now, and we've got a whole bunch more content that we expect to come out soon.
Definitely. And the exciting part, at least I think is exciting about the studio is yes, we'll be using it, but it's making it accessible to the workforce. It's making it
That's right.
where they need to start using it. We have some gear. Obviously, there will be some scheduling things, but we want to make this available to folks to use because that's
Right.
what we do.
Exactly. I mean, in fact, I know you'll have some video coming out that we'll be able to see the space. We'll have events down in the space this week. We're doing a lot virtually, a little
Hmm.
bit, physically limiting the numbers, but this space is really for the workforce and others to be able to use for the purposes of collaboration. I mean, it is set up with the boards to be able to, ideate, to focus on understanding some of the problems that you're facing, maybe come up with and generate solutions on that. And that's really what this place is set up for, to get you out of sort of the your regular work environment, the cubicle farms, and allow you to have like space, not just in the COVID sense, but
Yeah,
space to sort of open your mind and think about these things.
definitely. And I think what I'm hearing, and I think you're saying is we as NavalX are open for business.
Yes, and that's a really important point. Open for businesses. Obviously, here we are, COVID, and I think it was over 4 months ago that we actually went into full telework mode, and essentially here in our Naval X spaces, we shut down, um, and we were essentially working from home virtually, and then trying to really start to develop new ways of how we were actually going to deliver content, connect with the workforce, to be able to get messages out from leadership and things with that. And we've been effective, but the hard part is we haven't been able to do things in sort of a, not just a physical sense, but to be able to really use our space. And the space was being refurbished, for a number of months,
Hmm.
and luckily COVID just gave us some time to really get it right, to finish the space, make it look a place that people are going to want to come to. And so the whole point of this is, hey, being reopened for business and
Yes.
the ability to operate inside of this COVID bubble, like you mentioned, besides the 6 feet. If you come to our space, people are wearing face masks. We've
Hmm.
separated desks to be more than 6 feet away. We've got separate offices. We've got wipes, hand sanitizing stations. We've got a lot of that going in. So I think that
Hmm.
the key point is, if COVID is going to be here for a while with us, we have to be able to operate inside this bubble and learn to do business. And that's what we're trying to do this week by really sort of opening up and seeing how we can kind of test out our processes.
Keep working, keep moving forward. That's
Exactly. Yep. Yep. So, the hard part was, at first we didn't really, and we still don't understand a lot with COVID. I think there's a lot of challenges there, but um, you know, given that we still don't understand a lot, we have to be able to implement those public health and safety guidelines,
yeah.
the ones from CDC's, the one from OSHA, and be able to demonstrate that you can actually, be effective, open for business, and actually be, operating, given that COVID is all around us every day.
Definitely, definitely, that is important. And so, folks, I see a number of people are on. We've got a handful on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. We even have a gentleman on the other side of this monitor who came in person. So we're flexible. That's how we operate. As I'm going to have Frank go through a little bit. For those that don't know, Captain Frank Futcher here is our NavalX director. So he makes sure that he controls our crazy, kind of keeps us in line a little bit. He says, run this way, but not too far, and keeps the clock turning. So I'm gonna have him give a little bit more of NavalX 101 in general.
Mm-hmm.
So the space you talked about, but also what we are and how we can help folks. And while he does that, I want people to start sending in questions. Tell us where you're watching from. Sending us. This is a live. We want to interact with you all. So please start throwing those in the comments, and we'll get to those questions as we keep going here.
Okay.
Sir, yep.
So as I mentioned, I mean, most folks are familiar with NavalX, but if you're not, Secretary Gertz, our boss, created NavalX about a year and a half ago, but really for the purposes of increasing agility, collaboration, and sort of transformation across the department. For the purposes of keeping the Department of Navy ready in terms of emerging technology and great power competition. It's really trying to keep us at the cutting edge. And how do we do that? Is a number of ways. So first, I mentioned agility. There's a lot of things that NavalX does to try to promote agility at the individual worker level, the workforce level, and at the organizational level. One of the things that was created that really took off this past year was this Center for Adaptive Warfighting, and the team here, like you said, they went running. I mean, we had some great folks on the team that had a vision, and they saw a need, and they developed some courses in terms of like Agile Scrum for warfighters, courses on human-centered design thinking, and on the principles of lean startup. And this is about, hey, let's say develop a plan where we know all the things that have to go into this package and how to deliver it, but it's really, these are skills to sort of drive a better understanding and refining the problem set that you're trying to tackle, and then just getting moving forward quickly so as you start to understand the problem, you might have a hypothesis of what solutions you might have.
Definitely.
And so these are ways to help folks deal at their level with the challenges and the problems that they face on a daily basis. So that's one of the ways that NavalX really tries to bring about change in terms of agility to organizations across the Navy. The other, I mentioned collaboration. So collaboration is really important, and that's what we're trying to do here by reopening our space. When you talk about innovation and serendipity and coming up with new solutions to things, it's really about bringing people together, and it doesn't always have to be physically. That can be virtually, but bringing different people with different experiences and different backgrounds together for the purposes of looking at that particular problem. And it's those sort of differences that allow you to really, I would say, develop solutions that you may not have thought about before, by having some, unusual suspects, people that you wouldn't normally have, let's say in your program office, but people who might bring that different perspective to the problem set. So this space,
and I really like that it really feeds that diversity of thought.
Yes,
that
exactly.
That is very
diversity of thought.
I don't want to use the word popular, but it's coming up more and more of the importance of diversity of thought and having that. And a great example to that happened actually here just a couple days ago was, some of you will see as you come here physically, we have this really cool wall, and you can check it out online. It may or may not be a puzzle. It may or may not make sense. I'll leave that up to you. But the cool part about it was we had a problem, and because of the facility that we work in, I just started walking around to non-NavalX folks, to anyone. It was like, hey, I need a solution to this problem. And a 16-year-old intern was like, oh, why don't you do this? And I was like, cool. You want to design it and build it? He's like, all right. So it's having that diversity of thought. You never know where those ideas are going to come from.
Exactly. That is a great story, and that all started because, in fact, our boss asked us to do something, and he said, "Why don't you make something NavalX cool that will be memorable, and folks will be able to remember this grand opening set of events this week?" And that was just that. You just described it.
Mhm.
Diversity of thought and bringing different people together with different ideas. And I hope you folks can come down and actually see it. If not this week, you'll either see it on video, or maybe if you get here in another week or another month, you'll be really
It's not
surprised.
going anywhere.
It's not going
It's a
anywhere.
big wall, lots of space.
That's right. It is a part of our NavalX ship that we have out on our main floor that's actually now underway, just like the NavalX mission is underway.
Yes, it is. And so before we kind of go into other pieces, we'll answer a few questions. So I want to say what's up to all of you. We see San Diego, Pensacola, Florida, more San Diego, Jeff Cronin, what's going on? Alexandria, Virginia, Pensacola, Austin, Texas, represent, Baltimore, North Carolina. So we've got folks kind of tuning in from all over, Chantilly, Virginia. We got a question here. What is your connection with the tech bridges? So what is I'm assuming you're saying NavalX. What is our question with the tech bridges?
Sure.
Connection.
Yeah. So for a lot of folks that don't know, there's this one mission area of NavalX is tech bridges, and so the relationship there is, you know, it is a part of the bigger tech bridge. I mean, the NavalX mission, and the tech bridges were first announced last September by Secretary Gertz. Since then, those were the first 5. There's been 7 more announced, with the last 6 most recently being this past May. But the purposes of tech bridges is very much about the collaboration that I mentioned earlier. You know, and it the collaboration really does drive innovation. And so if you look at the NavalX space that we have here in Alexandria, Virginia, Tech Bridges is essentially creating similar sort of physical locations off base
Yes.
for the purposes of engaging with industry, private sector, academia, to eventually work on warfighter, challenges, right? To solve those and be able to transition new technologies into capabilities for the fleet and for the warfighter. And so if you look at the tech bridges, the 12 that have been announced, and then here at our headquarters, which includes our National Capital Region Tech Bridge, this is really a national network. And so if you think about,
Yes.
again, a network and the power to collaborate across that network, what NavalX is doing essentially is trying to create this national network of tech bridges. And although a tech bridge might be associated with, an individual warfare center like the NOC TSA down in Orlando, that's the Air Warfare Center Training and Simulation Division down there, or let's say you have the tech bridges out at the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California. So you have like a variety of these tech bridges sites with, again, locations for the purposes of collaboration, and
Mhm.
and almost like the story that you described, it's a place where people can get together to think about the problems that they have, and it's just different ideas. And so, and again, for a lot of what we're trying to do is also engage with not just small businesses, but companies and entities who have not traditionally thought about doing business with the Department of Defense.
Yes.
There's a lot of innovation going on there and emerging technologies, and this is what we're trying to do. So that's the relationship between NavalX and Tech Bridges. So it is a mission area of NavalX.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. I know I've got a question that actually came in this morning before this event. They asked if we asked it. You know it. We get it often. Is if I'm a company, because you just talked about tech bridges, how we connect.
hmm
And if I own a company, can I come to NavalX and you guys fund me to do work? Is that what
No,
NavalX
that's not what
does?
NavalX does. We are not a
Okay.
funding entity. We don't have the funding that we do have is really for our mission ops. It's for us to execute our mission day to day. We also are sort of a neutral convening authority, meaning we will help connect you into the right entity. So if you're a business with an idea or a capability, a technology, we'll try to capture that information in a database that we have that's searchable by, or will eventually be searchable by, not just our NavalX network, but by our program offices. So if you come to us, what we're really trying to do is, one, understand who you are, capture your information, and then connect you to the right entities inside the Navy. The Navy is very big. There's a lot of different entities that do work on research and development. There's a lot of entities that are trying to deliver capabilities to the warfighter. And so what we're trying to do is connect you into that set of entities. They're the ones who have the acquisition dollars. They're the ones that make the acquisition decisions.
Mhm.
NavalX is really just trying to speed that process up, connect, help collaborate, and of course create a network that we can sort of move a little bit faster across.
Definitely. And thank you, sir, for that. Another one we've got here is, can we talk about local events? So I'll kind of take that one. I believe there's a couple things. One, for this week, for the grand opening of our facility here in Alexandria, Virginia, there are a variety of events going on. And we've got some tours and stuff you can come by. The link I just threw up on the screen there. Please go there. We're all searchable in Eventbrite. Check out our LinkedIn. It's got the link there as well. It's also got a post of the events that are going on. And so there are a variety of things you can come by this week. Also, future events coming here physically. We do have events that before COVID, we did seaside chats and things like that.
Yep.
So we're going to continue doing those, bringing both industry and or just both public and government folks together, having those great conversations and learning from that. We'll begin having those again. We're not sure on the schedule when those are going to happen yet, but those will be coming. Local events also, we're open. So come pop in. Come check us out. We are located at the building. Excuse me. We're in a building. We're located at the Garden by Building Momentum. That is Googleable. It's also on our NavalX website. Our address and instructions to get here are there. And so one of the great things that I think is great about our NavalX facility is the collaboration capability. Is there we don't have we do have our own level of security here, but we don't have the same barriers that may have to go to the Pentagon, or we can do collaboration events with folks a little bit easier.
Right. No, and just to highlight something that you said, Matt, a lot of this information is going to be housed on our website. So the events and things like that we're going to have upcoming will be posted there. The ability to register, information you mentioned about our location, you'll be able to find it there. The other thing that I'll just add is that for our government partners, we have space here to do a variety of things, but I don't want to make sure that people understand we're really not like a conference center or anything like that. We have space, to support you, but what we really want you to do is to use this space to focus on some key problems where you do need to bring people together, and that could be even outside folks from industry or academia. We have some examples even before this new space was opened, where on the Marine Corps side they were focused on, I would say, let's say, breaking down the process for delivering software to the warfighter, and they brought all of the different stakeholders together to really map this process out. And through that process of continuing to get together and collaborate, map the process out, identify barriers, identify, let's say, duplicative steps in this process, they learned a whole lot by doing that. And actually were then able to cut out a lot of the time it was going to take to deliver the software. So that process went on for a number of months. But again, this is sort of a space to be able to attack a specific problem that you have. We have conference rooms, we have office space, places to ideate, and we also have folks that can actually help you in that process, help you on that journey.
Definitely. And that's kind of to the facilitation point. We have folks that we're not a full-time facilitator team either, but we do have folks who have that training and have that capability to help run you through some of those problems that you're working through. Another question we've got here is from YouTube. We've got, good morning, excited to NavalX grand opening. Can you provide info on how NavalX may be supporting naval aviation training?
Well, right now, I'm not aware of any specific engagement with naval aviation training, but if there is a problem, I would actually ask the schoolhouses or whatever command might say, hey, to reach out to NavalX, and then we can start to find out how we might be able to work together, and then go from there. But
so I can say that a great resource is actually going to be Diana Teal, who is our Tech Bridge director out at the Central Florida Tech Bridge. And that out there, it is Naval Air Warfare Center Training Systems Division. So training being the key word, for NavAir, for the aviation of the Navy.
That's right.
So you can reach out to Diana Teal, who can help connect you with what's going on. Not only is NOC TSD Orlando very up in the training side of everything, but also in the, there we go. Diana just joined the conversation. Fantastic. They're ready to help. So I'll stop talking. You can read her comment. Reach out to her. She's there. She's there and ready to talk to you.
And you'll also be able to connect with her on our website. If you go to the Tech Bridge
Yep.
section, it'll show all the 12 locations of the Tech Bridge, and by connecting to that, it'll provide you essentially an email directly to Diana.
Definitely. Definitely. And again, as people have questions, if we don't, please send your questions in. This is your chance. We're here to talk to you. We can talk to each other all day long. That's what we do anyway. But we want to answer things you may have in your head there. I see a few folks have joined since. We got Pax River, Boston on the hook, Arlington, Texas. We got folks from all over, which is great. We love connecting with you all. Got another question here, sir. Is NavalX working with the Navy SBIR STTR transition program STP?
So yes, we do. We work very closely with the Office of Naval Research, and they have the actual Department of the Navy's program manager for the SITR program. And so we have, I would say, at least 2 times a month, sometimes more, in terms of engagements with that team, to include the tech transfer team. In addition, NavalX actually had worked with the SIBR team to work on the joint open topic back in at the beginning of this year, January, February, March timeframe. So that is something that we do, I would say, support very closely, whether that's the execution of event, trying to highlight the work that the Don SITR program is conducting. So I would say we're very close partners.
Fantastic. There you go. So let's see what else we got here. Hey, Ann from Crane, Indiana. So we got a few tech bridge directors watching us. Welcome. We've got another follow on to Tim Cat's question about the aviation training. As follow on, does NavalX work with UCF for virtual reality or augmented reality? Again, I'm going to turn that one right back to Diana
Well, the
Teal.
answer is yes, but yes, Diana would have all the specifics on that. But UCF is certainly, I think, a partner of the greater Orlando team.
Yes,
Is how I would
and that's
characterize it.
something that NavalX can't take credit for. They have
Mhm.
Knox TSD down there has a fantastic relationship with UCF, and they do a lot of things together. So I really am hoping you reach out to Diana either through our website or I saw you've been talking to her here on the comments. So please reach out to her, and she can definitely get you connected into what's going on down there. And she says yes, so you're good to go. And we've got a question here from Elliot Levine. Who gets to use the new space?
I mean, that's being worked out. When you say who gets to use the space, I mean, we've already had actually folks down. So we've had sort of a soft opening earlier with, let's put it this way, some of the leaders of the Assistant Secretary of the Navy for Research, Development, and Acquisition. So Secretary Gertz's team has been down here a number of times. Some of the Office Naval Research team has been down here. I would say that if you're familiar with NJOC, the Naval Junior Officer Council. So we've had some folks already who we've had close partnerships and do some work with. And so, they've been very interested in the space, seeing it develop. And so they've already been in close contact with us and been using it. So I would say reach out to us. We'll have eventually we'll put out, it's actually up and running, but I don't know if we've released it to the public yet, where folks, let's say if you're at NavAir or NavC and you happen to be in the DC area, that you can actually reserve a space or an office to kind of like work out of. Let's say if you're having to go wait before you head up to the Pentagon or something like that.
Definitely.
But the goal is really for folks to kind of work on again, to bring people together to collaborate on projects, not necessarily a remote sort of office working environment, kind of like a WeWork kind of thing. We're trying to use the space that we have is much better than what we used to have, and it's a pretty good size. But we want to make sure that we're using it for the right kinds of things to help you solve your problems.
Definitely. And it has been that misconception of we're just a free space to come and use for anything you want.
Right.
we do as a team also work out of here. And so it is available, but great for collaboration. As the captain said, I'll stop talking because he gave a great explanation. You don't want to hear me talk anyway. He's a better speaker. So
I don't know about that.
I just have the good hair.
Yeah. I don't have much. Well, actually, you don't have much either.
I don't have much. That's how the mohawk started.
Yeah.
The hairline just went, and so I just followed the natural course of things and just took the rest off. So we've got some more questions here, sir. We've got let's see, we got the new space one from Guidel uh, Olivas. Olivias. I want to make sure I say that correctly. I know he's down in San Diego. Is ATFP LE going to have a seat in the innovation table / OTA? And how close do you collaborate with DIU? And also the 100 million ceiling amount issued in expeditionary in June. Do you foresee security forces getting the same?
First question with DIU. We do collaborate with DIU. We've had a number of discussions in terms of how we'd sort of better connect Navy requirements offices and those who have requirements with DIU. In fact, one of our team members just the other week spoke on a DIU panel, and another team member talks with DIU regarding ventures and a couple of other efforts on sort of a weekly basis. So definitely collaboration, and I would say at least a lot of discussion and communication back and forth with them. What's a little bit different between NavalX and DIU though is that DIU, receives funding. Like they have the ability to put what I would say requirements onto a contract. Like they go out, they do tech scouting. They're very familiar with a lot of the companies, not just in Silicon Valley, but tech in general. And so if you come to them with a requirement, they can help actually put that on an OTA for you. That's one of the things that they do. Whereas NavalX does not do that. We don't manage an OTA, and we don't accept funding to go out and actually put it onto an OTA. But what we do, for example, we have what's called a PIA, a Partnership Intermediary Agreement, and that can be used in a number of ways. It essentially is an OTA, so I shouldn't say it isn't, but it has a different function. Our OTA, our PIA, is really used to engage with industry. Now we can do tech scouting, but if there's a requirements office that does want to, let's say, access technology and get, let's say, a demonstration, we can execute things like that. Like we can hold events here based upon that kind of funding, which could be a tech demo day. That could be a demonstration. It could be a prize challenge, like a Shark Tank, like kind of an event. So we can do things like that, but our purposes are really not to go out and then actually act like a contracting officer and put something on an OTA. That's probably a lot of explanation in terms of, hey, we do partner, but we are very different than DIU.
Definitely. And got another one here. We've got so Michael here from YouTube. I'm interested to learn more about that non-traditional category. If someone does not belong to academia or industry, does he or she have any future with NavalX?
Yeah, I think what you're saying, yeah, I mean, although I mentioned a focus on non-traditional, I mean, the other would be your traditional defense industrial base, like the sort of your big primes, like a Lockheed Martin or a Northrop Grumman. And so, we engage with them routinely, and I certainly do. And the question is, there's a point at which you might be, let's say, dealing with a small startup, a non-traditional sort of company, right? It's a small company, so their ability to maybe scale could be challenged, but they may be working on that technology. And so what is the right point that you try to integrate this emerging tech, into a program, and how best do you do that? There's no easy answer to that, but I would say that we do help connect and engage with, I would say, the private sector in general, which includes the defense industrial base. But we are trying to purposely, I would say, more focus on connecting with both small businesses and non-traditionals. Only because, we're trying to, what I would say, reach further down left in terms of the technology readiness level with companies that might be working in that tech space uh, much earlier in the technology's maturity. So we're trying to bring that along, whereas like a lot of the things that a Lockheed Martin or a Northrop Grumman might bring to you are going to be much more mature in terms of how it looks and it's developed and their ability to scale it and integrate it to a program. So what we're doing is just offering an alternative means to reach out and engage with maybe a different part a very strong part of our, what I would call our national security innovation base. There's a lot of innovation going out there, and that's who we're really trying to connect to.
And I will kind of add on to that last part of that question. Does he or she have any future with NavalX? It's so it's not NavalX specifically that you're partnering with. It's helping us connect you
Yes.
into the greater part of the Navy and Marine Corps ecosystem.
Mhm.
And so that's the real great power of our tech bridges. And example, the Capitol Tech Bridge, which is here for the DC metro area, and surrounding bases that are involved in that, and you as industry partners, academia partners, and maybe I say it incorrectly, but when I say industry, I kind of mean anyone not in the government. So there are probably ways. Is it with NavalX exactly? The engagement with us is to help you connect. Again, we don't have the ability to fund you or do that kind of thing, as the captain kind of explained earlier. But definitely, we want to find ways to connect, and hopefully, something can happen from there. We'll take some more. We've got quite a few questions coming in, so thank you, everyone. Are you establishing, here from Jeff, are you establishing connection to the warfighting development centers?
Yes. So if I'm understanding you right, these are like NWDC, and yes, I've gone down to brief them. There's some things that we're trying to better connect. So if you think of exercises like the ANTEX, the Advanced Naval Technology Exercise, or the FleetX, meaning places that the warfighter can have different technologies demonstrated in context, in an operational environment. And so working with both the fleet and a place like an NWDC to do that effectively. There's an Antex next year that we're working with to try to, get ahead in this COVID environment, to try to plan that out. In terms of war fighting, like the warfare centers themselves, we are very heavily connected to, through our tech bridges. And I would say that's probably some of our closest partners.
Definitely. An example of that is myself. I am on a rotation at NavalX from Naval Air Warfare Center Weapons Division out in Channel Lake, California. And so we do partner with them in that sense as well, where a large majority of our staff comes from a Warfare Center lab, SysCom. We're not just a team over here trying to solve problems over here. We're actually coming from different parts of the Navy and Marine Corps.
Right.
Which in my opinion makes it even more powerful.
Right, which is important. So connecting not just with external, right, to the Navy and with industry or academia, but also important to really connect internally. So having the team members from across the Navy really help with that. But the other piece is even connecting our process for transitioning technology, into programs. And, I mentioned a couple things like Antex and Flex, but, as you're maturing it, there's a lot of things that need to happen. There's a lot of engagements and stakeholders involved in that process. And, so if you look at this as either a tech transition or an innovation pipeline, NavalX is also really trying to help sort of connect that pipeline together better. So there's better handoffs between, as a particular technology, let's say, is demonstrated, and might have been on an OTA, it might have been in an Antex, how do you continue to, to keep that moving forward? There's, I think, too many times in this innovation pipelines where things just sort of pause, not for the purposes that people don't want to see the development continue, but either because somebody doesn't have funding, they're not really sure what the next step is. Well, what other authorities or tools might I have to be able to execute that? And so NavalX tries to offer some knowledge about that sort of tech transition and this innovation pipeline process to sort of help accelerate it, because so that there are no gaps, or I would say pauses, in the development.
Excellent. Thank you, sir. Another one we've got here from Dana is, do you have any planned joint activities, events with SoftWorks, AFWorks, or others? Well, I will say we plan things with others because we plan things with people all the time. Today, we actually have an event with Don Sapro,
That's
the
right.
Department of the Navy Sexual Assault Program, to do some partnership conversation that they have somebody coming on. So we do a lot of partnering. Anything specifically with AFWorks, SoftWorks?
Sure. So I had mentioned earlier the joint open SIBR topic. It was actually AFWorks that came to us, and and said, "Hey, we'd like to partner on on this," and we went in with them. That was earlier this year. We also have folks on the team that we're routinely talking about things in sort of the venture capital or private capital world. It's a new area for us, and AFWorks has a little bit of experience there as well. And so that's sort of an ongoing discussion. With SoftWorks, they've invited us to their, I think they call it a Tech Tuesday.
Yep.
They've had several of those already, and we've then reached out, NavalX team, and invited some of the other, whether it's a tech bridge director or a program office, because there might be technologies that are interesting, to the Department of the Navy and not just a Special Operations Command. So I also have routine discussions with not just SoftWorks, but DefenseWorks, which is the larger partner organization, and then one of our tech bridges, their PIA is DefenseWorks. And so I would say, not always when you say partner, I guess that implies that we're maybe trying to hold an event together or something like that. We do that, but I would say more importantly, we are sharing a lot of information, because we do definitely operate in the same space and we don't have all the answers, and it's really helping us move all a little bit faster.
Definitely. We do a lot of collaboration, and it's one of the fun things about here. So next one we've got, is there a website to reserve space? So I will say, Tom or Thomas, we've got, we're working on a way internally to the Department of the Navy and Marine Corps for folks to work with us, because we are really designed for that. And correct me if I'm wrong, sir.
Right.
Kind of designed to be that support system to the Navy and Marine Corps side. We're not really set up to just be the open space for anyone to just come and use
That's
the
right.
space all the time.
Right.
Is
That's
that
right.
correct?
But there's another piece to this, which is building momentum, who oversees this bigger space that
Yes.
we operate out of. And building momentum has an interesting business model where they have memberships here and they have other spaces like a co-working space and there's other businesses that operate out of here. I'm not going to mention who those are, but there's both small businesses and there's some very large businesses that have space, and they use the space here not just because they can use it as a co-working space, but because there's also access to prototyping tools. So if you're a small business, let's say working on a cyber project for the Air Force, and you want to be able to sort of quickly iterate on a prototype and be able to test it, this membership offers you tools that you can use to do that. And we NavalX have used those same tools for a variety of things. And so I would say, not just NavalX, I would say that's more for our government partners to use the space, although we'll hold events here with industry. But more importantly, there's memberships here in the bigger building that anyone can actually inquire about and find out if this makes sense for them.
Definitely. Thank you, sir. All right. We've got another one from Ashley Floyd. MCPGOV won a SBIR with the Air Force. How can they self-market to the Navy? So that question, so Ashley Floyd's actually a teammate of ours, and it sounds like somebody just messaged that to her. So she's asking on behalf of someone else.
Well, first they should connect with us, and after connecting with us, which it sounds like they've just done, we just need to know a little bit more about the specific contract award that they received and the technology that they're working on, and then as NavalX, we'll find out who's the right entities that inside a Navy that you need to be connected with. Whether could be aviation, that could be submarines, it could be training systems, right? It could be any or all of the above.
Fantastic. So connect with us. That's what we do. We connect. Woohoo! All right. So we've got some more here. Again, this is just a chance for us to give some time to you. We've got a variety of things all week long. I'm going to throw that up again. It's all over our website. It's all over our social media. Please join us for a variety of in-depth conversations. This is kind of just the surface level stuff.
Right.
We have a variety of breakout rooms with other members of our team that they'll be going in depth of tech bridges, CAW, Centers for Adaptive Warfighting, how we're doing engagement the way we are, what different things and partnerships we're doing. I think one of them's on PIAs and OTAs.
That's correct.
And so there's a variety of things going on. I really recommend attending some of those if you can. Also, sign up for one of the physical tours here. I'll say again, the tours here are being. We'll have we have masks on. Everyone's social distance. We are doing tours by registration so that we can keep those numbers a little bit smaller and to keep everyone safe, because that's our first
That's right.
priority for sure. So again, we got some more questions here or comment. Hi from New Mexico, middle school computer science teacher.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What's going on, TJ? You are the real hero. We're just doing work. You're the one that's shaping minds out there. That's fantastic. Looking for projects and game ideas for my students.
We could, you know,
I mean, I know right off the top of my head. So 4 weeks ago, I was actually a panelist on a gaming conference for folks that do gaming inside the government. So TJ, if you reach out to me, Matt Mohawk Denny on LinkedIn, because I see you're coming from LinkedIn, reach out to me. I can connect you with some folks who I think can help give you some ideas. I know very little about gaming. I can play some Mario, maybe some Tetris. So gaming is definitely not my thing. Sir, anything else to add?
Well, if you connect with Matt, I can reach out to essentially the Department of the Navy's STEM lead.
Yes.
And so there are a lot of programs that our systems commands, our warfare centers implement. There's projects I know in the local area I'm more familiar with. Both some of our warfare centers engage with a number of schools in the local area on a variety of projects. The Office of Naval Research and the Naval Surface Warfare Center, Carter Rock, has some interesting projects that I know that are out there for students to work on. So some of this is like coding and programming piece of it, and the other is actually making, this sort of, call it a bot that goes through the water kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some, I would say, Department of the Navy outreach things that we do. STEM is definitely one of them, and it's an area that we're trying to, especially in the COVID environment, where you might have a lot of students who, are going to have to operate from at home or from home, and how do we do that better?
Excellent. Well, yeah, TJ, there are a variety of ways we can connect you. The STEM program's a great one. So please reach out. I see some folks have given you some links to our website as well. So we're definitely here to help as we can. Another one here, we've got Scott Coslow. Any thoughts on the RFI, assuming he's being
Request for information.
There you go. From NAVWAR requesting information on transitioning from VRAM to COTS. There's a lot of acronyms that we use.
I am not, I'm familiar with the terminology. I'm just not familiar with the details of that RFI. So, the best we could probably do is just connect you, although the RFI that's already out there would probably give you, the right points of contact. I'm just not sure of the details behind that particular one.
So I can actually, again, what we do is connect. Scott, we actually have a tech bridge director under NavalX who is at a NAVWAR command, who is, I just lost his name, Charleston, South Carolina. Michael American.
He's in, yeah, and then you have the other NAVWAR. We have some of our own other team members who are on the NAV. They're a rotational NavalX.
Yes.
They come from NAVWAR.
Yes. So definitely, you can reach out. You see some people have put our website link up there. You can also Google us, reach out to us, and we can connect you into the right NAVWAR entities. Well, we may not know. We can definitely put you in sync with folks from NAVWAR. All right, some more here. How you doing, sir? You doing all right?
I'm doing all right today. It's Monday. It was a good weekend, and although it's hot, it is hot here in the DC area. It is. I don't think it got below 80 degrees last night here in the DC area, which is insane.
When I took the dogs out at like midnight, it was toasty, right, and humid. It was,
and it's always been sort of hot and humid here in the summer, but it used to. There would be a lot more thunderstorms and like rain events, and it just seems to be, if there's rain occurring, it's not hitting my house. And so my yard is starting to look like I live in California, where everything starts to just turn brown at some point.
Yeah, and that was actually surprising me coming from California recently. I thought everything was just green here all the time. And there's
It
a lot of
normally
green,
is.
but the grass isn't very green this year.
No, it's I haven't seen it this dry in a long time. That's right.
Wow, that's incredible. Definitely a great year for my first year. Fantastic. Again, we got more questions here. We really appreciate people that are coming on. We will answer some more. If we don't get to any, we do have other events going on all week. Frank here, our director, he'll be on other events. We'll have other folks on. So I do encourage you to go to that link on the screen right now to get more involved with the things. This week is a great example, a great way to connect with us. We can connect all the time, but this week, our entire week is reaching out to you all. So our entire week is having the conversations for you, with you. And it's not just briefs like, here, welcome to NavalX. This is what we do. We'll tell you about what we do, but we want to know from you how we can help, just like you guys have, the best questions for us to help you with. So please engage with us. We want to help you. And this week, we are focused on connecting with you. That is what this entire week is about.
And just to give a hint maybe of something to come, but we've been working on during this COVID time period on a digital tool, a digital agility tool, a better way to allow folks, in particular, like industry, academia, to connect with us. Sometimes email and phone calls are just really hard because it's not an automated process, right? Email comes in the regular way, you have to read it, respond. You gotta find out who to send that email to, and so one of the things that we're working on is a way for industry to sort of engage us with us in a more automated way, that they can actually input their information, their contact information, their capability, upload that kind of document that eventually be searchable. So that's something that we've been working on, and we'll come out with more information shortly along those lines.
Definitely. Thank you for that, sir. We've got one here from Rick LePage. I'm following NavalX on LinkedIn, Facebook. Is there an ecosystem on the NavalX similar to SoftWorks where we can register and become notified of upcoming events, collaboration opportunities? Great question, Rick. Is there one? There was, there wasn't. It worked, it didn't work. We're actually working on that right now. My teammate Ashley's been kind of collecting and going through some of those. And then in partnership with the tool that Frank just mentioned, we will be having a better way to distribute that, and that was one of our limitations, and so that's why we kind of stopped sending out email to everyone. The list we had was taking about 4 to 6 hours, and so it was really
Right.
a lot of time for how small our team is. Our team is not that big. We have 6 to 8 folks here full time every day. With this week, we've got new folks coming on to about 12 to 15. But we're a small team, so we've kind of been looking at better ways to have a newsletter or things like that. I do encourage you, Rick, to come to the tomorrow. We have the communications conversation, and that's one of the things I want to be talking about is both getting ideas from you and some plans we have and seeing if that works for what you guys want. So definitely working on an option right now to sign up. We don't have like a push button subscribe quite yet, but stay tuned. You're following us on social media, and we're working on something here soon. So some more we've got here. Let's see. All right, you need to stretch, sir. You good? You don't need to stretch.
I'm good. I
you're all
exercised
good?
this morning,
All
so
right.
yeah, I'm feeling loose.
You're ready to go. So we got one from John Leggett. When you say connect with us, what is the preferred method to do so? Do you want me to take that since that's kind of my thing? All right. So connect with us. You can send me a postcard. You can come out anytime you want. Send me a fax machine. We don't have a fax, so we won't get it. But when we say connect with us, reach out to us on LinkedIn. Reach out to us through our Facebook page. Comment on our stuff on YouTube. Message us on our Instagram. Those are kind of the social media ways to connect with us. Ways, if you're interested in doing business with the Navy and Marine Corps, if you have ideas. I saw a question. I don't know if I missed it or if I haven't gotten to it yet. Of if you have ideas that you want to present, the best way to connect to us right now, or we're making a better one, like I just said earlier, right now, It is using our agility email. So it is going, you can either go to our website and we've got a contact form. You can do it that way, or you can also go to, I think I've got a, thought I might have had it saved, but I don't. Oh, yeah, I do right there. You can actually go to our, so there's our website right there. And then you can also go to agility@navy.mil. So either go to the website that's scrolling on the screen now or Google NavalX, or you can go to email agility@navy.mil. And that is our current process for taking information in. And again, we'll take that and put it into our system and or connect you into other entities. Another great way to connect with us is as we start to have more events, as we are open for business and doing things again, participate in those. We have a variety of ones that you'll see publicly on our social media forums that are open to industry and academia and partners alike. So please start coming to those, jump in the conversations. Again, I'll say it again. This week is a prime week to connect with us because connecting is my job 100% all the time. I will always connect with you. That's what I do. And that's what a lot of us do. But this week, our entire team is focused on connecting with you. They are focused on bringing the information of what we do to you, answering those questions. Come here in person. Try to not come with a group of 30 because we're trying to keep the numbers small. But do register on the Eventbrite. Come take a tour if you're here physically. Give us a call. There's a variety of ways. I hope that helps. So hopefully that answered.
Yeah, key is registering for things like the tours or
Yep.
other events, so we know the numbers, and we do have a max and limit just to make sure that we're not exceeding the numbers that are actually allowed in the space per Virginia state guidelines.
See what I mean? Earlier I said kind of keeps us in line. So he just tells me to go and then he reins me in a little bit. He's like, oh, yeah, come on over, but make sure we register first. So he is correct. So let's see what else we got. We got a few minutes left. So we're probably going to only answer a couple more questions, and then I'm going to actually turn my phone on real fast and do a quick walkthrough of the space. Tomorrow we have an actual full virtual tour where I will be walking around it's either tomorrow or this afternoon. Go to the Eventbrite because I could be wrong. It is tomorrow, and we'll actually walk through, answer questions as we go through each section of our space. But right now, thanks for those who've been joining us. We've got something else here from someone. We've got, I may have missed this, but is the process in working with you all to forward our solutions and services or attend events? So I believe they're talking about the tool that you talked about, the CRM tool. That's not up and running yet. It's going to be soon. And we'll be soon having like a button type thing to, hey, I want to subscribe to this, or hey, I want to submit my company's information to you all to share as available. One more here. We've got Jeff Cohen. What's the first step in becoming the new Navy technology vendor? I'm gonna take you to answer that one, sir.
Yeah, there's some processes that you have to go through to essentially once you have sort of an LLC, is then to register to get things like, and again, I know I've seen some comments here in the box in the chat session on use of acronyms, but once you get properly registered, you get certain codes. I won't go into what those are, to then again to start the process of being able to bid on Navy requirements or requests for proposals and things like that. So there's some things that you do have to do to really establish yourself before you start doing business with Navy. Maybe there's something that we could post out on here. There might be some others here on the website that probably know some more of the details. I just know at the very high level, just simply because I've not worked in the private sector and started my own business, but I'm sure we have some people on here listening right now that have actually done that.
Technical difficulties. I accidentally brought myself in while you were talking.
I did. I saw you twice.
So thank you, sir. So real quick, our last few minutes, I'm going to jump on here on my phone. So I'm going to turn my phone on. I'll walk you guys around a little bit and show you a little bit of the space we have to offer. So, sir, thank you for your time.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. And it was, I hope to meet you either physically or virtually here this week during our grand opening events.
Fantastic. Appreciate it. And folks, stay tuned right now. I'm going to switch over. All right, so I am going to walk you around a bit. I'm going to throw my mask on. Let me get out of my speaker so I don't start hearing myself. So I'm going to throw my mask on since I will be walking around the space. But we are open for business. Let's see. Let's see if I can figure out how to turn my camera. I am super tech friendly most of the time, except for when I'm live. All right, so here's our new space. So this is some of our collaboration space. You can see kind of the studio that we just came out of. We got this conference room upstairs. Great, fantastic conversations happening in there. We got teammate Steve. He's working on hard things in there. Let's go. Getting stuff done. Push-ups? Do them right now. Ready to do push-ups? Do some push-ups right now. Let's go. 25 of them right now today. Ready? All right. Everybody's excited. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. All right, 25 push-ups, mental health awareness. Everybody do that. Call a buddy, call a friend. Don't let mental ailments get a hold of your friends. Peace. There we go. So all kinds of things happen here in NavalX. You'll never know what'll happen. People just start doing push-ups. We got our teammates down here working hard. Chubbs is doing hard things, I guarantee it. He's a great teammate there, working on stuff. We got these great collaboration spaces. So you're able to this is where the main space that we'll work in. We got this event space. Yeah, we got balloons going on because we like to party and that's how we operate. We have this fun little working space here. Teammate working in here, actually one of our new teammates, probably on a video call, looks like. So we'll kind of take you down the boat a little bit. So there's David Schiff, another teammate. Rachel working on hard things, guarantee it. So these are one of our main event spaces. We do things, collaborate. We say we have a lot of events. This is where you can do that. And of course, the coup de grace, there's our wonderful ship, boat. If you're in the Navy and you call it a boat, you'll get slapped. Boats are submarines, these are ships. If you're not in the Navy, it's a boat. So it's a fun piece. Take you back here a little bit. Kind of collaboration space, a little going on. Hopefully there's still people watching and you can hear me with my mask on. Kate in the middle of eating. So here we have got, this is our new puzzle wall. So when you come and work on the space, you actually get to sign a piece of the puzzle. So you can come in here, sign a piece, or you can come right here, grab a piece, decorate it, throw it up on the wall. See if I can get that to work. I need 2 hands, but that's what it is. Come and connect with us. Work on this puzzle, make it cool. Here's some more spaces. You saw the collaboration spaces upstairs. We've got these little collaboration rooms that you can use. Come work in, work out of, as our director, Captain Futcher, said. These spaces are available for folks who are in meetings, need to come jump in a space for a minute. So that's kind of our space back here. Another conference room in there. We got telephone booths. You can change into your Superman outfit. Important things. We'll catch Kate eating once again. And here we go. So again, here's our space. I'll kind of walk to the front here so you can see the whole space from the front, but that's essentially it. Well, that's it for the main stuff. We've also got this side. So there's our space. When you do come here, you'll kind of come in through this front. You're going to see one of our fantastic Building Momentum teammates, and she'll welcome you safely, of course, with her protective barrier. And this is kind of the garden that we work out of. So there's a class going on over there, so I'm not going to go over there. But fun, great space to work, and a lot of things going here on NavalX. I'm going to see if I can turn my camera around.
So there you go. There is our space. It is here for you. So let us know how we can connect with you. I've got to walk back upstairs and actually stop this live feed. So I'm going to do that. Again, come join us this week. Register for something. We have a lot going on. Virtually, physically, connect with us. And again, I kind of went through a fast tour. I'll go through more of a tour later this week. I think it's tomorrow. So come on the tour, show you what's going on, and have a fantastic day, everybody.